and have a wonderful time here. We are talking about this day in history. Awesome stuff going on. Hopefully you all had a Merry Christmas. And let's go to this day in history. Here we go. It is the 360th day of the year, December 26th. 5 days remaining until the end of the year. Now, events that happened this day in history. 1489, the forces of the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella take control of Almeria from Granada's ruler Mohammed XIII. In 1776, the American Revolutionary War, the Battle of Trenton, the Continental Army attacks and defeats a garrison of Haitian forces. In 1799, Henry Lee III's eulogy to George Washington in Congress declares him as first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his congressmen, not to be confused with his the funeral in December 18th. Alright, in 1811, the theater fire in Richmond, Virginia, kills the governor of Virginia, George Smith, and the president of the First National Bank of Virginia, Abraham Venerable. In 1825, the advocates of liberalism in Russia rise up against the Tsar, but are suppressed by the Decembrists' revolt in St. Petersburg. In 1860, the first ever inter-club English Association football match, or soccer, whatever you want to call it, takes place between Hallam and Sheffield in Sheffield. In 1861, the Trent Affair, as Confederates envoys Mason and Slidell are freed by the United States government, thus heading off a possible war between the United Kingdom and the United States. In 1862, the Battle of Chickasaw Bayou begins. In 1862, 4 nuns serving as nurses are the first female nurses on a Navy hospital ship. They are on board the USS Red Rover. In 1862, the longest mass hanging took place in Mankato, Minnesota, where 38 Native Americans died. In 1871, Gilbert and Sullivan collaborate for the first time. It went modestly well, but they did not collaborate for another 4 years. And then, of course, amazing stuff. In 1898, Marie and Pierre Curie announced the isolation of radium. 1919, Babe Ruth of the Boston Red Sox is sold to the New York Yankees by owner Harry Freese, as that established the curse of the Bambino. In 1941, Franklin Delano Roosevelt signs a bill establishing the fourth Thursday of November as Thanksgiving Day. Thank him for that, and all the turkeys side, whatever. In 1944, George Patton's Third Army breaks an encirclement by surrounded forces in Belgium. In 1963, I Want to Hold Your Hand and I Saw Her Standing There are released in the United States, marking the beginning of Beatlemania. So think about it, folks. Christmas was yesterday, and then the real Christmas present to everybody came as Beatlemania started in 1963. The first Kwanzaa is celebrated in 1966. Vietnam War, the part of Operation Linebacker II, 120 B-52 bombers attack Hanoi, the longest single combat launch in Strategic Air Command history, 1972. In 1975, the first commercial supersonic aircraft went into service. In 1991, the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union meets and formally devolves the Soviet Union, so they're done. 1994, four armed Islamic group hijackers seized control of the Air France Flight 8969, and when it lands in Marseille, the assault team boards the aircraft and kills the hijackers. In 1988, Iraq announces its intention to fire upon the United States and British warplanes that patrol the no-fly zones. In 1999, the storm Latar sweeps through Central Europe, killing 137 and causing $1.3 billion in damage. In 2004, the Indian Ocean earthquake, 9.1 and 9.3 on the Richter scale, shakes southern Samaria, and it is one of the largest tsunamis follows, covering Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Bangladesh. Death toll is between 230 to 280,000 people. The Orange Revolution, the final runoff election in Ukraine, is underway under heavy international scrutiny, and probably Paul Manafort had something to do with that, former Trump guy. 2006, an oil pipeline in Nigeria explodes, killing at least 260 people. And 2009, China opens the world's longest high-speed rail route, which links Beijing to another city probably way far away. I have no idea what it is. Ganju, I think it is. Bless me. Alright, so. Yeah. Birth today, Phil Spector was born this day in history. Gray Davis, former California governor, was born in 1942. John Walsh, who created America's Most Wanted, born this day in 1995. Carlton Fisk, 1947. 1948, Candy Crowley. 1954, Peter Hillary, New Zealand mountaineer and philanthropist. Ozzie Smith, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I really like the guy. 1954, along with Peter Hillary, they were born on the same day. Lars Ulrich from Metallica, 1963, born that day. Chris Daughtry was born in 1979. Beth Bears, however you say it, from Two Broke Girls. Happy birthday to you, born in 1985. And Eden Shearer from The Middle, who plays Sue Heck, born in 1991. Happy birthday to you. Deaths that happened this day in history. Gorgeous George died in 1963. Very famous professional wrestler at the time. Harry S. Truman, 33rd President of the United States, died in 1972. Harold B. Lee, who was the 11th President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, died this day in 1973. I thought that was interesting, so I put it in there. Reggie White died 2004, and Gerald Ford, who was the 38th President of the United States, died this day, 2006. So it is Boxing Day today. Check that out. It is the Day of Goodwill in South Africa. It's Family Day in Vanuatu. I hope I said that right. It's Thanksgiving in the Solomon Islands. It's Independence Day in Slovenia. It's St. Stephen's Day in a lot of countries that are... it's a public holiday for a lot of them. St. Stephen's Day in a lot of Europe. It's Father's Day in Bulgaria. It's the first day of Kwanzaa, celebrated until the 1st of January. It is the second day of the 12 days of Christmas, and it is Wren Day in Ireland and the Isle of Man. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this day in history. We do it up every single morning here on the Scott Show podcast, and we will see you very soon here on the Scott Show.